Do you think I'm not tired of fucking Lughead here, fucking stopping my combo every 4 to 5 hits, but then in turn being forced to run the dumbass Lughead himself? Because guess what? If you don't run Broly, UVB's dicking you down like a prostitute. But if you do run Broly, then you get your freebie wins because you just did nothing. You just stood there like a fucking dumbass. Alright, so in this one, I want to talk about Leader Slot. And unfortunately, it's reared its ugly head within all of the 8th year anniversary. And moving on into where we are now. You know, this thing has been in the game for a long time, and I mean a long time. If I'm not misreferencing here, it appeared going all the way down, and I mean all the way down here, around the time of, if I'm not mistaken, yet again, of this, this is far away, of this, where is he, Purple LF Cells release. If I even could filter this even easier for myself to find him. This guy's release around there, right? Give or take, you know, a month or two from or before. DBL 40, just to give you a clear reference point to where we are right now of where everything is. DBL 40 to DBL 97. So it's been 54 months. You equate that to 1 year, 12 months, 24, 36, 48, damn near 5 years. This mechanic has been in the game, and it has been bad in every circumstance. And I'll give you the anomalies of, like, you know, I guess 17 Frieza, there's a positive and negative to it, where right now the positive would be they don't really have a team, so like if they didn't have Leader Slot, they wouldn't really be used, then people wouldn't summon for them, then their value wouldn't really be anything, but they'd be just a further investment of time, and, you know, maybe some essence of them could even argue value right now within, like, an Android future mixed team with something like that. You could, like, put, like, an Android stuff, but they also have, like, a lot of future meshing abilities if Leader Slot didn't exist, so you kind of argue something for them right now, but definitely wouldn't be where they are right now in value. And there's merit to that, for sure. There's goodness to that even. I know, very shocking that there's actually good to this mechanic. But there's so much bad. I mean, right now, we're in a campaign that is for reps, and to most people's degree, and even my own degree, these buffs that we're getting for the reps campaign are not going to usurp and are not usurping the best units. So within that, why would I ever look forward to kind of just having, you know, we get universe rep units, we get universe rep buffs, and it's going to be awesome, it's going to be great, it's going to be so cool, so fun. But at the end of the day, right now and moving forward, if let's say God Topo drops, or Ultra Jiren, or Evo, or whatever drops next within next week, they happen, and they're not better than the Buu Duo, Gohan Trunks, UGB, UVB, Broly, Legend Rose, TGB, all these things. You won't ever fight the actual campaign that they're buffing. So they always keep doing these campaigns of like a 2-week or a 4-week, and it's like, okay, let's get the teams kind of be competent and it's whatever. But at the end of the day, you'll always see the Leader Slop, and you'll even see it on the overlay here. Guess what units are notorious for Leader Slop? It's Ultras, right? I mean, you can look at the latest, second latest Ultra. I won't give it to the latest Ultra because Buu Duo Saiyan's the ability, or rather Ultra ability there, and the ability. It's not there, but UGB on release, you were leader slopping him. Matter of fact, his entire life, you kind of been leader slopping him until UGB just got his buff, which happened almost 3 months after UGB released. But where was he going on movies? What is his ultra ability? Fusions. And it's like, I can understand it for ultras to a degree, just because we've been here so long. But now we're making legend units be Leader Slot merchants. Like, the intent of this unit right now, and maybe even their entire livelihood, because there's not much locked behind being like, you know, reps, LOE, Android. You get like guard and some, like, I think you literally just get like 10 guard, and that's it. That's your lock behind being one of the, you know, premium tags for this character. And it's like, okay, I think I could go my life to having 10 plus guard from this unit. Your intent of existence is Leader Slot. And while you're not even hurting anyone specifically, I would say 17 Frieza are just, and just to, this is like a side thing, it's a bad release timing. If you want to have it where a unit's not going to be Leader Slot only, it kind of turns into Leader Slot here, you make them an all-offensive powerhouse, right? I was saying before this release, Legend God Topo. Okay, we'll make him ranged, then he can run with UGB, and then, you know, we're still leader slopping, but still, at least we're having some God Key there, you know, in a mix of it, and we're just accepting of leader slot because it's been 5 years and it's been in almost, so why not just, you know, take the pill we're gonna have to take? And we have some God Key thing where it's like, okay, UGB is more valuable on this team than maybe even UVB, and then boom, God Topo's purple, and then he goes well against Broly, because like there's no full finite purple that's really doing well against Broly, and Broly's really just kind of meshing everywhere in turn because of leader slot, and it's like, okay, now we have something there, a baseline foundation. But you drop a support unit, which again, this unit's a fine release. I think they're actually an anniversary release for like a part 2, but this unit's a fine release for what they are as a character and all this cool stuff, and they're great and awesome, but they're a support type. And it's like, well, they don't have a team, so your entire job is to not run on your own team for weeks. They drop to not be run on the campaign they're meant to be run. And again, at the end of the day, we most likely won't see this unit be actually meant for the team they are wanting to be on because of said campaign never really doing the proper job. You could say the 8th Annie Part 1 did a finite job within all its, PO and movie stuff. It was kind of going for, here's Red Broly, PO movie, here's TGB, here's Green Broly, here's UGB, here's Pan. I guess Pan was part 2, but, Pan, because she's part of movies. You could say 8th Annie did a fine job, but that wasn't even, like, directed as, like, specific, oh, this is movies and PO. Movies and PO. It wasn't directed as that within Part 1. Or obviously, Part 2 is Game Originals, directed as that. Guess what? It's shambolic, and that shit needed, like, a fucking anomaly Zaha, and even then, it's a 1 week, 2 week wonder, whatever the fuck. You didn't run into Game Originals. It was really a team compared to movies, right? Obviously. But that did better as a legitimate campaign, unfortunately, despite Ultra being Ultra, which is just a foundational flaw of Ultra, by the way. This is not a flaw of actually leader slot. It's a foundational flaw of Ultra. It's been like this since they've released. Leader slot, leader slot, leader slot, leader slot. Look at USG, the original. He was not run on an actual Pure Fusion team for 6 months later until USV dropped. Which, again, I'll do a whole thing on that eventually, I'm sure, because that's just the problem. But now we're inflicting it onto everybody. You could even argue on units that really aren't technically leader slot, but like you would always end up inevitably needing to do it. This one's a great example. This guy is not a leader slot merchant. He was meant to run on Daima. Daima had a campaign, but the thing is, the campaign was shit. And while this guy's shit, he was the least of the shit. So guess what? You would actually try to run this guy in leader slot. It wouldn't be good. But again, at the end of the day, your backbone of existence to run any unit in this game is always going to be, they don't mesh, they don't make sense to be here, but because they're so good in that moment that they're being their best self or being as good as they can be, you always throw them on an ability that doesn't really make sense, that they don't really even want to be on, but because again, the team is so good, it just works out for you. A prime example of someone that's literally doing it every game, and it's getting kind of repetitive, it's getting really fucking repetitive and really, frankly, just boring to fight, is no other than, wherever he is here, this man. He is an overtuned equipment, and now, in turn, is being thrown on every leader slot team in the game. I mean, right now, I'm running into, 17 Frieza, Buu Duo, and Broly, and it's like, and that team's meant to be what? That's not a team that has, like, real, unit synergy. It's just broken support type unit, broken autopilot unit, broken disrupt unit. Boom, they're all together. And it's like, I feel like there just should be more effort to making teams. There should be more thought to go into it. Because when I see a UVB on leader within having, 17 Frieza, and then I see whatever third on that third slot, it's like, well, obviously it's just UVB crutch show and carry show, and it's like he's not even meant to be here because he's an Ultra, and he's meant to be more limited. And if the whole premise of Ultra is meant to be more limited and more premium on teams, then why don't you actually emphasize that? I don't actually remember a singular Ultra where you felt like you had to, and I mean had to, like fully. Maybe there's one coming to mind actually right now, but most, actually have to run them on the team that they desire you to run them on. The only one that comes to actually my mind right now is one that is unfathomably toxic, having infinite stoppage of your comboing and infinite stoppage of your rushing, but I'll give the grace to this unit. You ran him with GT units. You ran him with UV4, you ran him Super Saiyan GT Goku, and you had to run him there. He has stipulations in his kit, and they did this, and that's the one positive of that character. But looking at any other Ultra, again, you can see it. No one here else has a stipulation of like, oh, you got to run them on this, that, and the other, and then like that's how you kind of get their more finite value and being the best selves they can be. And note, just to kind of give the situation of what it is, this unit fell off hella quick because he has that stipulation to run with certain allies, because other units don't. The unit that has a proper situation, a proper good thing that exists in the game, is the one that fell off one of the quicker than not. But looking at all these, The only one that actually, again, has a stipulation is him. Nobody here, and I mean nobody here, is like, oh, I gotta run him on LOE for UGF. I gotta run him on hybrids for Rant. I gotta run him on Regen for Kid Buu. I gotta run Majin Buu Saga for USV. I got not a damn stipulation besides 1 Ultra in 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30. And again, if your whole thing with Ultras is meant to be, well, just leader slot them, then why wasn't that intended when they first released? This man is before Mr. Cell that I mentioned, and he's around the area, and we're kind of getting there within all these other Ultras that are, you know, starting out the Ultra trend. Then why do they have Ultra abilities, right? You're making teams designed for these characters to be on these teams, but in turn, these teams aren't good enough, so you design a mechanic that actually has no real bearing of logic behind it, because what the fuck's the purpose of campaigns? Damn near every campaign they do every year is a dud, because at the end of the day, you end up leader slotting. Sure, the units can be good from it, and they can be individually better than XYZ of the past, and, you know, they're power creeping. Power creep happens, that's good. But when you have it where, well, one of the best teams in the game is this, this, and this, it doesn't really make any sense why this unit has some limitations in their kit. It's either you give them limitations to where when they're run with these specific, you know, tags of units, boom, then they're that best unit. Then they're that top 3. But when you don't do enough limitations, okay, here's 17 Frieza being, regardless, like a top 3, top 4 unit right now. And it's like, so just ignore the limitations anyways. They're already like a top 3, top 4. Why the fuck do you even care about them in the first place? But then in turn, why the fuck are they even made to be there? It doesn't make any sense. It's getting obnoxious fighting leader sloppy bullshit for the majority of the time. You, again, release units out of order where it doesn't really make any sense. I feel like they've done this in the past where it's like, here's Super Baby 2 releasing, and then here's a double red, like Super 17 and Super Vegeta. It's like, oh yeah, Super Baby 2. Good luck out there, buddy. You got a lot of bullshit to deal with. Have fun with all of that. Or it's like, what, Super 17 released before Super Baby 2, and then Final Flash dropped after, who's like mid, but like still he's a red. And it's like, we're not helping Baby anywhere, clearly. Which makes no fucking sense, because like, why are we not helping Baby at all, that team? And that sequence, and it's like, similar vibe here. Why are we dropping a support unit for a tag that has nothing? Again, they will get stuff. This is a good campaign at the grand scheme of it, because it's buffing a tag that doesn't have a lot going on right now. But why is the support unit first? It's like when you scroll down and you see, why was he before him? Now, given, you should give some grace there, just because there is the, I guess, nature of arguing, you know, he's good against Namek, he was good against UV4, Android 13 was fine, technically. But again, it's still a good argument to make. Why the fuck didn't CMZ drop before 13? Clearly, we were waiting to get CMZ to get MZs equipped. Blue, red, purple color synergy. What? CMZ would have been fine. He was fine against Namek because he has the lock-in assets against those fucking lock-in abilities of Namek Goku. Like, why did we do this out of order thing? And they do this a decent bit now, where it's like these units just release out of touch of order. Like Legend Bardock releases at such a weird time. Then they drop his ally of Legend Rose, and it's like, so why didn't you just do Legend Rose then Legend Bardock? Like, why are we doing things backwards to where I'm summoning for someone that's inferior, but they have to hopefully, I take a gamble in my gacha game. I'm gambling my gacha game that they'll give me units that are good enough to value the unit I summoned for initially. And it's like, why? Why am I doing that? Why am I hoping for them to give me enough? Because let me show you who didn't get enough. Him. Guess what? Look where he is. Look where he's never used and never touched and never ruining or helping or doing anything to any meta. Because you didn't do that anomaly situation for me where it's like, oh, I drop a unit and then I give them a support for after. They did the offense part first, and then they didn't do the support part. So it's like, then we start doing the backwards where they just start doing the support first, and then not the offense. And it's like, how do I follow a trend that you don't even follow, Legends? How am I supposed to follow something you can't even keep fucking coherent? And it makes no sense, and it all goes back to leader slot. Because again, some units are more reliant on it than not, and then units that are not reliant on it end up being the best units because they have less restriction in their kit. But again, if everyone had a restriction within making leader slot more negligible than broken and accessible to fucking everybody, then it'd be more positive. Because again, you're not running into real teams. There's no fucking purpose of doing campaigns if you're not going to actually make the campaign worth it for that team. They tweet out teams. They tell you, run Universe Rep, run Rev UI, blah, 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 blah. Suggesting Rev UI is fucking insane, by the way, but run Rev UI. Brother in Christ, what kind of dumb shit do I look like? I'm running Rev UI when there's Legend Broly, Shallot, like, what the fuck do I look like? You're telling me run Rev UI. You want me to run a real team. You want me to run not leader slot. You tweet out teams that aren't leader slot, but yet in turn, every fucking unit becomes a leader slot shithead. And it's like, so what the fuck do I do? The consumer's confused. The devs are lost. And it just doesn't make any sense. You either make someone restricted within leader slot, and then you make them better, and to such a degree, such goodness, where they're not leader slotted, they're running on a pure team, and that pure team is so good because they're on that pure team, and everyone on that pure team wants to be on the pure team, to where it's amazing, and it incentivizes pure teams, or you don't. You don't just fucking mix the bag. You don't just keep getting, okay, well, here's Shallot, and it's like, here's UGB, and it's like, okay, well, here's the mixed bag of, like, yeah, this mid-fusion, then this really good fusion, but, like, he's a leader slot unit, because there's no fucking third! So what the fuck do I do? I have to keep leader slopping? I don't want to fucking leader slop. It's not a good thing to the game. It is a band-aid they've had for damn near 5 years that is not actually done positive. Every single time people ever mention leader slot, they get annoyed, they get pissy, they get bitchy. Because guess what? There's no positive. What the fuck do you call a campaign if the campaign itself is all it's doing is just, hey man, new units, but they're from this tag this time. But then the team that you build is never gonna be the team they actually want you to make. They're probably always like thinking like, you go see them. You know, World Championship, you go see Tani, you go see Toshi, whatever. And it's like, hey, did you intend for this team to become the best team? And it's like, no. And it's like, well, really? No shit, you didn't? Because no one likes leader slop. They make these units hoping that they're better than the previous, which, by the way, we're hoping that units are better than other units. Not guaranteeing, we're hoping, and it's like, why are we having hope? Why can't we just guarantee, right? Because, like, people get tired of fighting the same shit over and over again. Guess what? I'm still fighting the same shit over and over again. Do you think I'm not tired of fucking Lughead here? Fucking stopping my combo every 4 to 5 hits, but then in turn being forced to run the dumbass Lughead himself? Because guess what? If you don't run Broly, UVB's dicking you down like a prostitute. But if you do run Broly, then you get your freebie wins because you just did nothing and just stood there like a fucking dumbass. And it's like, sure, let UVB be good. That's great. But goddamn, give me something. Don't make me run fucking... I don't want to have to run the same character I've been running for 3 months. It gets stale. I am bored of running the same units. And if I don't run the same units, then you just can't win. If you don't run a Broly, or if you don't run UVB-esque kind of units, then you don't win. If you don't run a top 3 unit against top 3 units, you can't win against the top 3 units. It's just not a thing, or at least a consistent thing. And you want to win in their PvP game. So in turn, you start countering out units. Legends, you start doing this, that are giving the biggest problems to the PvP. Broly needs a checkup. Broly needs a purple god topo fucking him. Like, now. He needed it a week ago, but he needs it now. UVB needs a better checkup than these fucking blues that are getting fucking 3 to 4 carded by him like the Boo Duo could. We need checkups. We need stoppages. We need counters. We should not have new units being fucked by old units that are better than their prime in their current prime. How was UVB's prime during the 8th year and the after party? And not during 5th year, where he dropped! How are you doing that? We've had that for multiple ultras. And it keeps going back to leader slop because you can just leader slop about a team. If Pure Fusion was a team and you run that and you were running UGB, Shallot, UVB, and that was one of the best teams in the game, it'd be more fine, right? If that were a team people were running, those 3, okay, cool. I can run Buju, I can run my blues. They can have more value. And I can just hope for a purple unit to kind of, handle that, really, really strong green unit over there. Sure. But that's not the team. It's not. All you fucking fight is leader sloppy toppy bullshit. It ain't fun. It hasn't been fun. During Annie is the most healthy time, unironically, of this leader slot shit because people are running game originals. Okay, there's three game originals. Oh my god, it's fucking crazy. Pure hybrids, even though it wasn't the best team in the game. Pure hybrids. Pure future. Go on Trunks. Double Goku Black. P.O. Pure. Broly. Double Goku Black. There you go. You did it. There was a leader slop in part 2. Part 2 was better than part 1 and part 3 within meta sake, for god. Like, fuck. What we doing? Because I got Stardust Fall dickhead in part 1. I got Broly dickhead in part 1. I got Red Broly dicking me down in part 1. You know, I'm Gucci. I'm out of there. I'm done with part 1. I was done with part 1 when Red Broly got his clip. Thank God Broly fucking fell off a cliff. I'm happy about that. Fuck that Broly, right? Fuck this Broly, but fuck that Broly. It was more pure teams, but again, UGB fucking leader slot really ruins that fucking premise. Then you move on into part 2, and I just named 3 to 4 meta teams, and those are fucking not leader slot. You can do that. It's not difficult. The premise is there. It's always been there. They always just fuck it in the ass, though. Because once the Buju are released, guess what? You're back to leader slotting. Once UVB gets his equip, guess what? 2 Ultras back in the meta? Oh, yeah. The toppy sloppy leader slop has fucking returned. And it's just gotten worse because then they release a unit that is literally intended to leader slot. And again, unless Reps becomes this team with somehow 1 unit, because fucking Dispo and Jiren and all these tier boost merchants aren't gonna make it be the case, unless Reps becomes a team that quite literally makes God Topo and 17 Frieza top 1 together, and then some random fuck ass third drops as well with them, you're just gonna leader slot God Topo or Jiren Frieza, or you're just gonna put UVB leader with those two. And it's like, I don't want to fight fucking leader slop. Let me, you run a campaign. Your campaign is to buff teams. You're not buffing UVB with the Reps campaign. But guess what just happened? UVB got a buff from the Reps campaign. So what the fuck are we doing? Don't do fucking campaigns or fix your leader slop. There's 2 answers. Could you pick one? Because it's been almost 5 years, and I'm fucking tired of this leader slot shit.